we seem to be live, and I think I'm at the point where I can actually start doing things, so let's get started here. Got the rack for the cones. And just whacked my knee. All right. Forgot one other thing real quick. Let me grab that. Cannot forget the bottle of spray bottle of water, because we do tend to get a lot of static. Hey Gwen and Rainman YYC, not Rainman YYC. All right. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, this is not a paid promotion. I have accepted no money, received no promotional products, but if you are in, is that mirror imaged? That's weird. Okay. Let me see if I can fix that. Anyway, give me a second here, folks. I have a remote for this stupid thing. All right, let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. I like this brand of salt and vinegar chips because it has a really hefty bite. I'm going to move the chair here. Let's see. Greenman says, Torn, how you doing? Feeling better? Much, much better. Let's see, no, normally. Not sure what that's in regards to. Oh, now it's reversed. Okay. All right, so it's reversed on your end, but not on my end. Okay. All right, don't know why that's the case. Let me just double check something, just because I'm a suspicious person. Mainly because Bane Iron Hand trolled me a lot. Okay. Weird. That's annoying. All right, let's do this again. All right. Well, So anyway, sorry about that. When it says that's a new way to see things, and Raymond says loved hairs when I was in Delaware. Yep. They have really nice kettle chips. They also have a bunch of other products that are not too bad in most cases. And I'm going to move the chair around so I can sit rather than. Oh, I am getting feedback through my phone because I brought up the stream. Okay. So, as far as doing well, the good news is that after all the tests, it appears that whatever I had, I no longer have, or at least not in any way they can detect. So, I'm feeling great. My strength level is what it was like at the beginning of the year before I started having issues. And I'm very happy about that. And I have gained back a little bit of weight, the weight I've lost, which is a bit frustrating to me, but I bought some new pants, so I need to make sure that I exercise enough that I don't get too large for them. I do have, I can go back to the old ones. I haven't thrown them away yet, but I really, really don't want to. I want to keep the weight off and keep losing it, so to speak. And I take off here without ripping the plastic. I ripped it a little bit. Oh well. Since there might have been a chance to use purple on Kurt's braid, I got this lovely purple silk, but that will be used in apparently in a future one somewhere along the way. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but my primary care doctor decided after I got out of the hospital that because I had an issue with headaches and bright sunlight on my ADD meds, I had to go off of them and stay off of them for about 2 months until they were sure that I was doing okay from being in the hospital, which frustrated me to no end. And I now, since I've gotten the results back, even though it's only been about 6 weeks, that I appear to be in good health and don't appear to have any issues going on, that I've got an appointment with a different doctor in my practice because they're the first one available to go over options for ADD medicine Tuesday. So I'm hopeful that in the not too distant future, I will actually be able to function relatively normally again. Not that I was really where I wanted to be, but I was a lot closer than I am now and I was before I started. So, whoops. All right. Let's see what else is going on. So I'm anyway, part of the reason why, now let me back up a little bit. I'm not sure how long I'm going to run this stream. When dinner's ready, I will probably wind up ending the stream then. But I wanted to at least get some work done on it because the way my ADD functions, if I can at least get a project started, I'm much more likely to keep going with it. So once I get this started, at least a couple of Tama set up, I am well on my way, and I can keep scheduling streams and doing more work until I'm ready to go. This braid is only going to be about 3 feet long, roughly, as expected. Since I'm pretty sure Kurt isn't going to want to use it as a belt, and he seems to be more forbearing than enthusiastic about the gift, I figure I will do something that will work well as a decoration in his studio, kind of the way that Legal Vices Jeff did with the braid I did for him. or he can hang it where he hangs it behind his broadcasting area, so it's in the background. And I figure 3 feet long will make it much easier and much more likely for him to want to use it in something. So that's my goal on that, is I want to make something that he'll like and he'll find useful, even if he's not that into it as a concept at the moment. Anyway, so I admit that I've been kind of off kilter since I've been out of the hospital, because I've been off my ADD meds, but I've been wanting to get back to a braid very quickly, and looks like here we are starting again. Since this is only going to be about 3 feet long, and I'm only laying out about 8 feet folded in half, it shouldn't take too long to get this set up, I'm hopeful. I'm less likely to have static be a problem, which will be nice. Also, the other thing that was really kind of preying on my mind was getting my constable certifications completed. I had 3 online classes plus a firearms recertification to do, and I was able to get the online classes done as of a couple weeks ago, and I was able to get my firearms recertification, which I have to do annually, done yesterday. So I have a lot of that stress removed. I can focus on other stuff better, and I'm not worried about that I'm not going to get things done when I need to. So the good news is I recertified. I got a perfect 120 out of 120 for my first firearm. My backup, in case the first one has mechanical problems, I got a 117 out of 120. I missed 1 point on the first half. You have to get 60 points on each half of the certification. And I got 58 on the second half. But that I'm attributing to the migraine I started because I wasn't able to see as well. And I missed getting 2 points on 2 shots and got 1 point on them instead, because I was about one was like about a ½ inch, the other was about 1 inch away from where they needed to be. Well within, if I ever needed to use it functionally, I probably would have been fine. But I'm rather pleased with it, considering for my first class, or first firearm certification yesterday, they had 12 of us per try on the range, because they only have a certain number of lanes available. There were I think about 30 people in the class, because it was the last one to take this year before you had to wait till next year to do it. And if you wait till next year, there's a gap in certification. And this is annual firearms, so everybody's passed the basic firearms certification before they even get to this recertification class. So, first magazine, everybody did 6 rounds, and they call a halt because the person immediately to my left has a broken gun. Specifically, the side just above the grip, like right about here, had a piece broken out of it. You could see the internals, and they said gas was leaking out of it when it was cycling. So they gave him a equipment waiver because he apparently broke it the day before, contacted the administrators for the class, explained what was going on, the fact that he couldn't get replacement parts until like a couple of days, like 2 days later, Monday or whatnot. And they told him to go to the class, see if he could go to certify with something else. But he tried to go it, but somehow the communications between the administrators for the program and the instructors on there got lost because they had no idea what was going on with that. So after that, they bumped him from the class because he didn't have a firearm that he could qualify with. And then after the first half, which is theoretically the more difficult because you're at further range, 2 other people couldn't do the second half because they didn't get their 45 required points for the first half. You need 90 to pass, and it has to be 45 and 45 minimum for each side. Let's just toss these on here. What else was I going to say? Oh, and second half. Oh, and I was the only one who got the perfect score on the first half, which made me feel kind of decent. And on the second half, there were 2 other people who got a perfect score on the second half out of the 11 remaining people taking the class. And for the second firearm, when I went to research to take the qualification course for that, of the 12 people that were of the 12 people who were taking it that time around, 6 of them did not pass the first half. Now you're allowed 2 attempts to take, to qualify, and if you have 2 firearms, they'll allow you to do 1 for each one. But if you fail on the first one, you gotta, and you pass on the second, you only qualify with 1 firearm, meaning you can only carry 1, and if yours breaks down unrepairably, you don't have any other options till the following year. So, one of the good news things about the class that I heard about is next year we are not doing the show up and you just shoot the course of fire. They're actually going to have a full day instead of like a half day, which for me and some of the others was about maybe 4 hours. Yeah, about 4 hours. We're going to have an 8-hour class with drills. And we have to bring some more of our own ammunition to practice the drills. And I am very much a firm proponent of if more training is available, we should be doing it. So I'm looking forward to that. But I am reasonably comfortable with my being able to pass whatever it is they have. Though I will say I am not that great at the shooter. But apparently I'm better than some other people. All right. And I am sorry this is taking so long. Let me move this out of the way and I will catch up with chat. He says still reversed. Should be good as of now. Melee says, hey y'all, it's good to see you on Melee. For some reason I can see your user icon better. And Glenn says, hey Melee Cormier. And Rayman YYC says, hey Melee Cormier. And Melee says, Gwen and Rayman, how are you? And Melee says, that's a beautiful purple. Thank you. I thought it was a rather nice color pick. And purple. When YYC says purple looks like Kurt's channel color. Yeah, that's why I ordered it. But apparently, the suggestion I got was that since he's such a Clemson fan, that going with the orange and black of their colors along with the paw print might be a better option. And he seemed to be happy with that. He didn't want any changes to the preliminary design, so that's what we're going with. And I'm just about to the point where yeah, I'm just about to the point where I'll move the chair out of the way and start. One of these spools is much newer than the rest. I guess I lost one somewhere along the way. Yeah, that's right. I was missing one somewhere, and I needed to order a replacement, which I did right after I got back home from. Um, no, I did that right before Pennsylvania. No, sorry, my memory's playing tricks on me. So we look like we are ready to go. All right, let me move the chair out of the way. I gotta sit on the floor for this. And woohoo! We have a $5 super chat from Rainman YYC. Awesome results, Tarn. I'm only so-so with Abyssal. My comment is that what improved my ability to take this test the most was just kind of relaxing, not stressing about making the times, because we got 12 seconds down to 4 seconds for some of the different things, but practicing with the slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So that helped a lot, and I would say definitely have somebody with you who can kind of review what you're doing and make sure that you're calm and smooth. But thank you again very much for the super chat. That's very kind of you. And Gwen says, thank you for the channel support at Rainman YYC. All right. Let me grab another bit of caffeine and sit down and start feeding these breads through. Actually, I will take the seat cushion and use that as a kneeling pad. It'll probably be easier to do. All right. And if I remember right, the first bit off of these cones is always a little bit weird because it keeps wanting to wrap on the underside. Wrap around the underside and jam up. Let's see. There we go. A little bit dusty here. All right. And go. And it fell through. Or fell back through. Apparently, I'm a bit wobbly, and the stand is a bit wobbly, which is not helping. I finally caught up with Current on the He Who Fights with Monsters series. From the quote, "He who fights with monsters must need to pay care," or something about needing to pay care not to become one themselves. Which is a progression fantasy isekai kind of storyline. My wife also has been reading it along with me, but she's like a book or two behind me. Has really been enjoying it as well. She particularly enjoyed the Angela Lansbury Cabot Cove. It's a wonder anybody's alive there, and Angela Lansbury is probably the most prolific serial killer in the world in that series, because all the old friends that go to Cabot Cove wind up dead in very short order. All right. Why is that not going through? There we go. There was also she also enjoyed a very amusing nod to Terry Pratchett, where one of the characters says, I know this is an abomination unto Noggin. Also went ahead and finally finished off the third book in the Eisenhorn Warhammer 40k trilogy. I stopped a little bit into the third book because there was some what you call socially embarrassing storyline, which I've never really been a fan of. One of the reasons why, as a kid growing up, I always hated watching sitcoms because I didn't like the socially embarrassing stuff because I was having a problem with that as a kid myself. All right, and yeah, let's go this way first. This is number 4. So we are about a third of the way getting the orange set up. And getting a little better at getting these fed through. Trick is to not let them fall back through. Yeah, made a little bit of a mistake. All right, let's just pull that one back down. I don't want to have these kind of like crossing over each other because there's an option for entanglement going on there. There we go. Now this other one can go up through. And in case anybody's wondering how I know how long to pull out the thread to be consistent, I have painter's tape on the floor to let me know where my cue points are to start and stop. All right, there we go. And my knees need a slight break, so I'm going to sit down for just a minute and catch up with the chat. Almost halfway through the orange. Nope, no new chats, but I will sit for a second and have some caffeine. All right, I have plenty of time Monday night. Don't have any other plans, so if Ian is not feeling well, I will probably wind up doing a fair amount of streaming tomorrow night as well, doing setup. I also forgot to post the announcements for this stream in my usual spots for braiding stuff. There's like about 3 or 4 Facebook groups and a Reddit group that I tend to post these in. So hopefully we'll start getting slightly larger streams going fairly soon. So after this, I am doing a braid for Hayden, Aussie Overlord, and then I believe Andrea Burkhart, and then probably Megan Fox. All right, we are looking good. I was also fairly productive today in that between posting the channel or the show link and starting, I was out in the garage and I actually put away a bunch of stuff from vacation that I hadn't gotten to. So I'm really feeling good about that as well. I think what I'm going to do is I'll do 2 of the orange and then 2 of the black. it'll make it a little easier for me at the start of it. And I'll give the oranges a chance to settle their unrolling path before we get to potentially mixing it up with the black thread, which has happened to me, but not all that often. But I figure it mostly happens with the new cones. Plus, it makes it a little easier to start the over and under 1/1 twill basket weave look when I have two of the one before I start one of the other. Come on. Probably should have made these holes a little bit larger, but I wanted to make sure there were enough of them, and there wasn't too much chance of snagging with other stuff. Come on. I went ahead and got a random orbital sander, a random orbit sander, or just orbital sand or whatever, and had a chance to use it on the bottom 4 pieces of my Taka-Dai that I'm using today. Was able to sand the roughness mostly out of it. I put a wax finish on it, and they look much better. Let's see. But I was really pleased with how it went. Part of the reason I got the random orbital sander is Mrs. Torin uses one of those square pad vibratory sander palm sanders, and they kick up a lot of dust. And I noticed that the random orbital sanders, some of them have fairly decent dust collection that I can hook up with my current dust collection setup. I just needed like an adapter hose. So I did that, tried it last night, had almost no dust coming off. Wasn't like smelling the sawdust as I was doing it. So I'm rather pleased with how that turned out. I was also watching a Stumpy Nubs video on, well, listening to, not watching, on my way to firearms recertification. And he was talking about a sanding pad for random orbital sanders that instead of using grit, uses like carbide tooling carbide on a steel back sheet that lasts virtually forever, that go between like, grits 40 and 80. And I thought that would be a very useful thing to have. So I could go ahead and order that. So I'm hoping that I will be having Takadais and other stuff for sale relatively soon. Because I pretty much got everything I need to make stuff. I just need to actually do it. All right. Let's start making stuff with the Tama. Right. Let's see. Let's go there. And gotta have the scissors over here. Let's give a nice moisturizing mist. Oh, almost forgot. I need to make little tape flags so I know where the middle part of the silk is. I think the blue painter's tape roll is large enough. Actually, I think that's a little bit too much blue light. Let's turn this one off and try it again. There we go. Color is much better. And for those of you that didn't catch the appendix stream where I figured it out, apparently the old camera I was using for the overhead shots, actually let me get the scissors, it'll make it easier for this, was making everything yellow. So this new one is much better colored here. sets. I won't spend a whole lot of time making this. I just need some flags. Oh, I was also listening to the Volden's SCP audio stories, and also ran across a fairly decent 4-part video shorts on YouTube for the SCP Foundation that I really kind of like, called "There Is No Anti-Memetics Division," which does cover an existing SCP story, which, for the medium they were doing it in, they did, I think, a really good job. I love the comment that a couple of the characters made. All of this on my first day, and then, wait a minute, I know this isn't my first day. Because the Anti-Memetics Division is about forgetting things, not remembering them. So, all right. We are ready. Let's go ahead and load up the Tama. Just take this off here. Make sure we've got all of our thread together. Tie this off. At least 3 knots. So when I do less than that, they wind up untying themselves at times. Alrighty. There's one. And one of the other things I need to do is get a slightly heavier weight kite string compared to what I've been using, so that I have something that has a little more friction resistance to unrolling on its own. So I don't have all of the Tama near the end like dropping to the floor and I have to chase them. Alright. Okay. Get back here to the halfway point. And mark our flag. Oops. Fell off the stand it was on. Let's Tama back up and make sure our measurements are good. Get close and flip it out of my fingers. I'm doing it again. I don't know if I'm just tired or what, but the coordination does not seem to be where it should be at the moment. Alright. Oh, almost forgot. I usually have a piece of tape that I use to keep the Tama from sliding off the surface it's on. Forgot to set that up. Alright. And we have our halfway point. And these actually went pretty well. Alright, and nice. Let's hope I get a nice cut. Apparently these scissors are not the best. Alright, and the most important thing, don't forget to pass them on through the middle of, or through the D-ring before I tie it off on the other end off of the Tama. It does look like I am doing reasonably well for layout. Make sure all the threads are wrapped around. Have it listeny. Go. Pass through properly. Tie it off. And tie it off. Okay, I remember now. Previous ones, I would tie the first one off once, then bring it around, bring the other ones up, and then put them together and tie it off 3 times after that. All right. Let's take the tape off. Alrighty. Oops. Okay. All right. Okay. I apparently also misremembered this part. So tape does not go on before I get both halves done. Flag goes on after that. And why did I have that? Okay. Oh, that's why. I just realized why I was doing it wrong. Okay, that makes sense now. Let's do this properly. I'm making this too thick, and alright, so yes, now I know why I'm doing that. It's been too long since I did a setup, I'm forgetting the details. Okay, so I put the flag on at the halfway spot, and roughly, and I have to have 2 tama. The one. Oops, I have scissors here for this. Make sure that I am indeed separate. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can't do this properly now. I was remembering the tie-off procedure for the last braid, which was where I was looping it over and doing half the number of strands I normally would, and then tying it off on the ends together on a single tama instead of doing the 2 tama that this way uses. All right, so that's 3. All right, so now this one goes here to a lark's head knot, and the other one drops to the floor. Let's go ahead and re-roll this one. At least I figured out what I was doing wrong fairly early on. That makes it a lot easier. All right. Get that blue flag about the middle point here. This one is a little bit longer because it comes up from the back side of the rails. Go. And roll this one just a little bit. this under and then over, and that flips around. So goes up there. All right, let's see if I can do this the right way. Let me catch up the chat real quick. All right. Gwen says that's a bright tangerine orange. Yep, it's definitely a strong, vibrant color. And Eleanor Barsick, welcome, welcome. Hi, Torin from Indiana. Glad you're posting again. How are you feeling? I am feeling much, much better. They're not sure what it was I had, but I seem to be over it. So that's a good thing. That's weird. I am yellow. Oh, it's color adjusting or white balancing. That's why it was getting yellow there. All right. And, Gwen says hello to Eleanor Barsick. All right. Let's see if I can't do this right this time. Get enough tape to do it properly. Keep the tama from falling off the counter. And the other tama hangs out here. Don't seem to have too much of a static problem at the moment. All right. And we go through here. Oh, no. I don't do that first. That's after I cut. And hold it a little too far, but that shouldn't be a problem. Now let's tie this one off. And 1, 2, and 3. That's there. At the halfway point, we'll get a little flag tape and mark it at the halfway point. Back up here, and let's see, nice and even. And I left the scissors over here. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get a better pair of scissors. Pass these up through here. And there we go. I was actually doing before is I would have them here. Let's move this a little bit. All right, so let's see. So I'm going to twist this a little bit. tie this off. It's a little bit long. Let's get some reasonable length. And one. Two. And three. All right, there we go. And we'll roll this one up on this side. And looks like I had a mistake. Oops. Let's try not to cause an accident. Somewhere on the way here, I had a mistake with the length of these. All right. Okay. Let's make sure we even them up. And we'll probably wind up doing one more tie off just to make sure that I would screw things. We don't have tension issues. All right. Yeah, it looks like what happened is one of them went through twice or whatever. All right. I am. I am just going to cut this short one here, and actually cut it all off here at the length of the short one, and just retie it with them tension properly. Get most of this off here so it doesn't interfere. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if I can do this without mistying the knot. There we go. Hopefully that resolves the tension issues. I seem to be a little bit wobbly with muscles, and that's probably because I spent like an hour putting heavy stuff away up in rafters, which is probably not the smartest thing now that I think about it, but my brain was not thinking along those lines. And tension looks much better. What I might do is I might go ahead and like in this stream and then set up another one for this a little bit later this evening. So this one needs to be about that long. And continue on If you folks don't mind that, that might be a bit easier on me. All right, and goes under here and over here. So there we go. I just need to remember to do the black in between those two. All right, so let me catch up a chat real quick here. Eleanor says, "Hi, hello Gwen. I missed you this year." And Eleanor says, "Cooking dinner." And Gwen says, "We've all been busy." All right, so it's about 5 o'clock now. So what I think I'll do is I will go ahead and in this stream get the black ones threaded up through before I start the next one, and then just basically start up from where I've left on here, but it'll be after my dinner, so and I'll have had a chance to rest and not be quite so wobbly. All right, I appreciate that. Everybody came by, and again, I will be starting back up in about 2 hours. If anybody has any questions before I go, now would be about the time to ask them. And Mary says, "Thanks for the stream. See you later." All right, so we will be back on, like I said, in about 2 hours or so. It was good to have everybody on here. Nice to see you all again. And and there's also going to be a chance to post it to the Facebook group. So, all right. So, as always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.